What is up, everybody? This is Edward back on another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. So I want to do a quick video, finishing that that original, that other play by play I wanted to do. Appreciate you all for donating. I'll announce you all a little bit, but I definitely want to step up and do better content, especially, I don't want to be on this, oh, y'all should donate to me, blah, blah. I definitely want to do more content, better content. And like I said, I appreciate you all basically, hit me up in the Cash App and everything. So I'm gonna share my TikTok as well, another opportunity to sign up for that. And while we're gonna do it, we're actually gonna do a blast from a past live stream where I'm gonna react to that live stream I was gonna react before. I will eventually probably jump on that Stephen A. Smith one because I know a couple of y'all have been asking for that. So I may do a reaction to that and then turn around and then just upload it. So keep in mind, be looking out for that. So let me get all of the necessary stuff. Uh, duh, 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 duh. And by the way, while you all are coming in here, how did you all like that Deadpool trailer? It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's the best trailer I ever seen. No, but definitely I don't need it to be. I don't need it to be. I just need them to bring it home. I was saying years ago that that would have been a great thing if they would have made that work. So I'm looking forward to that in July. That is definitely on the radar. Shout out to Professor Black Truth as well, talking about they want to create a genealogy thing when it comes to reparations, which is interesting. That was something they was talking about in the Watchmen, by the way. So we're gonna do this at like one. We'll do 1.25, and I can speed it up. I will. Da-da-da. And we're gonna jump right into it. So basically, give you a little commentary. I haven't seen this video, so I'll let it play out throughout, up to the point where I haven't seen it. But this is a chick by the name of You Heard Me First Time. Basically, she just got off of YouTube because it was a lot of BS going on. But she was one of these ones that this is the early stuff. This video is 7 years ago, so obviously 7 times 2024 is around 2017, and this is a good year and a half into Manosphere 2.0. So it's basically online. This is post the list, and so yeah, and what she's essentially doing is basically this is early in the quote unquote educated lane versus street two debate. She's basically doing, what a lot of these women do is they essentially put up roadblocks. They put up their little rebuttals and their little bullshit arguments, their little mommy ass arguments that they think just because they say it is. It is just because they say it is. And these were be honest with you, weak ass arguments. And it was funny because eventually a lot of these women, not necessarily her, but a lot of these women like Chrissy Paris, they would basically tell the truth. They go through cycles where they tell the truth, they lie, they tell the truth, they lie. So they would be basically saying, yeah, we like thugs, we like this, or you're lame, you're this or that. Then turn around and say, no, we don't just like swag, we don't just like this, and we don't just like that. So where we ended the video before we got into other stuff, and by the way, check out my last stream. It was really good. It was really good. Shout out to Marty for joining it, G, all the people that came up. Essentially, the argument a lot of these women like to make is around morality. They like to justify what they do by saying, "Oh, well, you all would do it too if you had the opportunity," which is actually no, that's actually not true. It's actually not true. Black men stepped up and were stepfathers in the 90s outside of the crack era and stuff like that. So, no, men typically don't do the same thing if we have the opportunity. Um, but they essentially like to say, well, you all are all these things that they like to project it to be because they're not getting what they want in the dating market. Oh, well, so we'll go into it, but a lot of this was like this wasn't the earliest bullshit, but this was kind of like the mid-tier bullshit where they were because for a long time they wouldn't even respond at all. And then when 2.0 finally started growing, oh, now they felt the need to respond. And then these would be these weak ass arguments. Remember, this is also pre-Kevin. This is like 3 years pre-Kevin Samuels as well. Remember that? So it's always good to kind of go back to some of these arguments just to realize the kind of book, because a lot of these chicks like to delete their shit. They like to erase their shit because again, they trade in narratives, they trade in propaganda. They're not really interested in really fixing anything. Not really. Some of them more than others, but the reality is they are interested in one thing and one thing only, that is fucking control. When you understand that, you understand that they want to control shit. They don't necessarily want to do an actual exchange for the benefit of two parties. I mean, it's really nothing to talk about, but the reality is a lot of dudes can't accept that. BGS had a ramble on his BGS response channel that he was talking about how he has to accept that people don't get it or don't grasp it. I don't 100% agree with that. I think that they grasp it. I think all of them grasp it. The issue is they can't accept it. They can't accept it. They cannot accept it. It's like if you could prove that, like, for instance, there's certain people that they'll just believe aliens don't exist because their religion won't allow them. Their religion won't allow them. It won't allow them to believe it. Anyway, hold on one moment. I'll be back. It's something I got to do real quick. It just won't. And I think we completely underestimate, people's psyches. And for those of y'all, if y'all wondering why the super chat button is in there, my channel has been demonetized for a while. It's going to be for a few months. So FYI, so keep that in mind. So if you all do want to cash app me, just say you put a comment in the cash app and I'll read the comment in the cash app because you can leave a note. So, and I'll read that and yeah, leave that comment up. Put that same comment in the thing and I'll leave that shit up. And then until then, we'll do stream labs for a while when I get that going. Honestly, it's some stuff I did. It ain't really got nothing to do with what I said or anything. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this. YouTube didn't give me my check. So basically, they kept that check that I made last month, which is some bullshit. But that ain't y'all fault. That is what that is. YouTube really did that. But hey, it is what it is. Give me 1 second. Yes, email me at everything's 300K. Yeah, honestly, that's some bullshit. But I already know what they're gonna try to do. What they're gonna say is the determinations that we made. They'll try to find a way to make it like that was being done last month, and then they'll try to say that justify it because they're not held accountable with stuff like that at all. But that's part of that is why I'm like, nah, fuck them. They're not gonna be able to get rid of TikTok. So, we just gonna do that thing. Make sure the link is in the in the pin. So if y'all are not on TikTok, download that damn app and stop bullshitting. And then follow me. You'd be surprised how many people in the space are actually on TikTok. But yeah, I'll pay attention to it. Email me, man. Email me, when you get the chance. So yeah. But anyway, I'm not even sweating that. I was making some decent money, but I'm not, I ain't sit there, gee, oh my God, well, my life is dependent on that shit. So yeah, anyway, let's go. And we're going to skip this. So let's go. We were about right here. I may put both videos together. We'll see how I feel about it, but let's go.
Because if you say black women are attracted to good looking men, then that just makes you sound like a hater.
And one thing I want you to understand, with all the shit that has pretty much come out, like the thing that's funny about this too is black women have everything that she tries to deny. Black women have all but admitted, and it's not even a big deal now. That's how much they've admitted this. So this goes to show you, and she knew this. This is the type of shit this is the reason why I want to do this too. Is this is what's important about your men. You have to own your own narrative. That is your job, and we have no problem with being critiqued. It's the truth needs to be told. And that's one thing I respect about a lot of content stuff is it's about owning your narrative. So when people ask, why do you talk? Why do you say this? Why do you share this? Because this is important. The problem with a lot of dudes is a lot of dudes are very individual minded, which is fine. Do what's in your best interest. But your inability to work together as a group, you're always going to lose against other people that are able to work together as a group. And that's a lesson that black men don't have. So let's go.
Think about it. If I complain that black men are superficial, they just like attractive women, y'all would laugh me out the building. Y'all would call me an ugly girl trying to shame y'all into liking me. Then you guys talk about swag like it's a bad thing. Okay, swag isn't just turning your cap backwards, sagging your pants, and doing the limp walk. It's confidence. Confidence makes women feel safe.
First of all, that statement right there about the confidence makes women feel safe. Okay, remember, this is the bear shit. So women don't feel safe. So this is why I told you all before. If a woman is having sex with a man, women do not have sex with men they don't feel comfortable with. They like to use the term safe, but let's say comfortable with. You will never hear a female admit, I like having sex with men I'm afraid of. You'll never hear them say that, because then somebody's going to say, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. I was listening to SWP, not SWP, Jada Black's video real quick. He was going over the stuff that happened with that chick where she went through that horrific, what happened to her, that 19-year-old. You think she didn't feel safe? You think she didn't feel safe when he did, like, with a 33-year-old? You can have your opinion that you want to about what's wrong with her, but you think she didn't quote unquote feel safe? A lot of women's quote unquote feelings be getting them fucked up. So just because you feel that way doesn't make it legitimate. It's funny because she puts a photo of these guys. See, one day they feel safe. The same chicks that say they feel safe with these guys because they're sexually attracted will be the same chicks that say I'd rather be around a bear than men, because men are dangerous. The same men that they say are dangerous are the same men that they'll say they feel sexually attracted to, so they feel safe. So women really get themselves in trouble when they use that safe comment, because they think that's like that universal thing that they can kind of fall back to. Well, we feel safe. That's that universal thing they go back to justify anything that they do. He made me feel. Just because he made you feel that doesn't mean nothing. If he makes you feel suicidal, does that make it cool that you just go ahead and just end it all? What are we talking about? Like, y'all think that justifies it just because I remember what I said. If they feel it, it is true. And so a lot of times they don't have the self-awareness. Like, you can tell they're talking in echo and they don't have a self-awareness of like the type of stuff that they say and like how that carries over. If somebody else was actually interpreting it, they're just running off at the mouth.
Confident males are respected by other males. If you're quiet and introverted and
Dude, first of all, confident, that is not necessarily. Jay-Z's a very confident dude. A lot of people don't like him. You can say what the fuck you want to say about Diddy, and I might not I probably won't disagree with you. You can't tell me Diddy is not confident. You can say what you want to say. It's a lot of dudes you get. Hell, you can say what you want to say about Jonathan Majors. You can't say Jonathan Majors ain't confident. He said, I need you to be my Michelle Obama. Like, so these are things. See, a lot of times women tell on themselves. Women tell on themselves when they make statements like this. Like everything, there's like a man. It's funny because think about it. The same men that they say are narcissists are the same men that they'll sit there and say are confident, and they always end up around guys they say are narcissists. Either you're lying or there's something about your compass that's attracted to that.
bullied by other males, women aren't going to be attracted to you. But
And then notice how she's also justifying what men do as to why you're not, like, if you get bullied by other males, men are not going to be attracted to you. So basically, that's low key telegraph. First of all, confident men don't bully. Confident, you can make an argument. What do they say about bullies? Bullies are insecure. And here's the thing about dealing with a bully. If a lot of dudes want to crash the fuck out, a lot of dudes don't fight bullies, not necessarily because they're just scared of them. A lot of dudes don't want to get suspended. There's a lot of factors that go on in that shit. There are a lot of people. I remember when I was bullied by a white dude. I tried to do the right thing. I told him to stop fucking with me. And he put me in a position where he basically started fucking with me in front of everybody in the school. And then I apologized to him. And then I knocked his ass out. I made sure the camera saw me knock his ass out. Next thing you know, I'm in the fucking principal's office. Ain't never got into a fight, don't have no history, immaculate record when it comes to not causing shit. White bitch want to sit there and sue me because, oh my God, my son is this, my son is that, my son takes this pill, my son take that pill. They had to ask the teacher, did Mr. Anderson come up to you and tell you that this guy was bothering him? Many times. Did he say he was bullying him? Many times. Did he say he was few times? And she acted like she didn't want to say it at first. They ended up suspending me. But that's a lot of time. He fucked with me. And oh yeah, he did. He like flicked my face in front of everybody like I wasn't gonna do shit. So and trust me, yeah. So most bullies do shit because they're insecure their damn self. But this is like the primitive perceptions of these women when they try to explain their primitive like desires and shit.
anyway, you talk about swag like it's something stupid that doesn't matter. Because if you said that
Swag doesn't matter. Swag doesn't build. And that's why a lot of you chicks end up where y'all end up. Because y'all act like swag matters. Swag doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things of what matters in the long term, swag doesn't matter. A lot of niggas that act like they got swag in the United States, you take them out of a hood environment, a lot of them dudes can't make it happen. People are confident in situations. People are not necessarily universally confident in everything, and that's what a lot of women fail to understand. So they get attracted to dudes that are confident in an impoverished situation, and when you remove them from that situation, then you're upset that they can't transform into who you want them to be, because at the end of the day, you were looking at the wrong shit. Swag is one of the main reasons why a lot of y'all end up single mothers and fucked up in the game. Swag is why you listening to You're a Single Mom. You let him hit it raw, didn't have any second thoughts. That's swag, and you all's perception of that.
Women are attracted to confident guys, you'd sound like a hater. You also have to demonize
and black women are attracted to white guys regardless if they're confident or not. So we already know that's not true.
Men who are getting the women and say that they're all thugs. Because if you say attractive guys
the reason why men say that the number one, men are not saying all the men that y'all get with are thugs, but the reason why men make the thug argument is based on the complaints you all make. If you look at the arguments you all are making, if the violence, the violence, the poverty, the um the single motherhoodness, that's from certain folks. When especially when y'all talk about y'all are straight up abandoned and y'all ain't even get child support. Usually those are dudes that don't have income that's worth getting. That's from a certain demographic. And by the way, a lot of this shit is based on what you all are talking about. Like if you say you don't like lames, you don't like cornballs, so what does that leave it? What like show me the non-lames, non-cornballs that typically don't fit a certain street aesthetic. Lame and cornball is basically another word for square. And that's not really what square means. Square just meant you weren't participating in illegal activity. Or activity could be more in the gray area. But y'all turn that shit to be lame because a lot of chicks are out here wanting to be exciting because a lot of y'all are boring as fucking your real life. So y'all need somebody to insert incitement into your life. And dudes that are generally doing what they're supposed to do in the long term, well, they're not doing that because they're doing what they need to do. So y'all trick off your 20s and early 30s, and then y'all think y'all gonna double back, as Accountable Commentary does to calls it the reach back. Nope. No safety net here. Y'all like the Graysons and Batman. Ain't no safety net. Y'all hitting that pavement.
Are taking all the women, or guys with muscular physiques are taking all the women, or rich guys are taking all the women, you sound like a hater. So you have to argue that
Well, I mean, y'all like again, just because dudes are physically fit and everything. See, it's funny because these women have what they're sexually attracted to, and then they have the resources they want. All notice how if you think, let me replay what she just said. Notice what she didn't say.
muscular physiques are taking all the women, or rich guys are taking all the women, you sound like a hater. So you have to argue that every other man who's not
Well, I mean, notice how she makes it like all these guys are one person. Rich guys can be lame. Usually, so on one hand, people are overcompensating. You know what I'm saying? And broke guys can have muscular physiques. It's about what you prioritize.
an educated lame is a thug. Otherwise, you sound like a hater and you have no argument. So even on a college campus, there's this little group of educated lames and all the other dudes are thugs? No? Then stop it. There
I mean, you don't see thugs. You don't see thugs. And what are you talking about?
ain't that many thugs. Now, a lot of you guys will agree that there aren't that many thugs because if there are, then that gives legitimacy when some black women say there are no good black men. So you'll agree that there aren't that many thugs. But
Well, when you say not that many thugs, I mean, what are you talking? See, again, we're not talking in percentages. That can mean anything that you're talking about. There's not that many thugs, dude. There's not like black culture is pretty much here's the thing. There's not that many savages. There's a whole bunch of dudes that be trying to wear a thug aesthetic. Like Future has a thug aesthetic. Future's not a savage. There's not a lot of dudes that I would qualify as a straight savage, or they have the potential to be savages. Meaning, like John, they got that shit under control, but they can go there if they have to. There's not a lot of those guys. And at the end of the day, y'all keep talking like this idea that y'all keep talking about how many black women, black men, black women are in danger. Again, my argument is get the fuck away from black men then. Stop having babies with black men then. Like y'all, it's funny how you all are getting fucked by the very dudes that y'all keep talking about y'all are so in danger by. So either you all are fucking retarded and or you like violence or that shit is not as bad as what y'all keep saying it is.
then some of you will say, well, it's that the thugs are getting multiple women. There aren't that many thugs, but the thugs that there are,
Well, that's statistic. We've statistically proven that.
they're getting multiple women. Okay, that's true. There are thugs, and a lot of them do get multiple women. But
Most of the kids are being had by a minority of women, minority of dudes outside of the dudes that operate in marriage. I mean, we've statistically proven that.
who also gets multiple women? Players and womanizers. And these guys aren't
Players and womanizers. That's that Alan Roger Curry shit. R.I.P. Again, especially nowadays, this is where a lot of women fall down. You can't when you complain about men, You all are only complaining about the guys you all are sexually involved with. So by definition, the more you complain, the more it's either a you problem or you're picking bad guys. You can't get around it. Whenever you see, this is like, for instance, Ebony K. Williams, just to take it out of a quote unquote thug and player thing. Ebony K. Williams will tell you she dated, SWP caught this out. Great call. She dated rich men that have careers, all this stuff, white men. And yet she is where she is. Light skinned chick, like graduated high school early, all that. Everything laid out. She worked at Fox, all of that. But when you look at the pool of men she dealt with, now what does she always like to come back to? She always like to come back to Dusties, talking about what you're not going to settle for. You've already had your dating career. You already had it. You're out of the league pretty much. Yet you're talking about Dusties. Bitch, you never dated Dusties. You never dated Dusties. You didn't date Dusties in your early career. You never dated Dusties. So Dusty should never come out of your mouth for your situation. You never did. Quiet as it's kept, if you would have had a kid by a genetically gifted quote unquote dust ball, you might have a kid. So you're not having to get all these shots in your stomach and shit to have a baby late because you thought freezing your eggs would work. You never considered that egg has to be baked somewhere. And clearly, you talk about how much money you got, you don't want to get a surrogate. Because a lot of chicks getting surrogates, that's something, it's something about them. They want to feel motherhood. That's another thing too, why a lot of chicks, even if they got the money, don't get a surrogate. Because technically she should have enough money where she could run that play if she wanted to. Let's go.
Aren't all thugs. But you know what they are? They're charismatic, good looking, got masculine physiques, or they've got money. Next point, you guys want to base your arguments on.
And that's fine. All these guys that y'all picking, so why are you complaining about them? Because the guys that got money, here's the thing. The guys that are charismatic, that got money are arrogant. The guys that are charismatic are narcissistic. The guys that got physiques are violent. Y'all always have a dark side to everything y'all talking about. And really, to me, that's code for I can't get my way. Because if a dude can get you, see, the problem is women have a thing where they like to put all these guys, it's all the guys y'all want in one category, and then it's all the guys y'all don't want in another category. Remember, this is about interracial dating. Remember that. So my thing is, if y'all don't want these, because here's the issue where y'all mess up. You all should have no cause to speak on men that y'all don't want. Y'all should have no problem. I can see black women getting mad if it's a dude they want they see with a non-black woman. Just like how white men don't get mad when they see a fat bitch with a black dude. They like, cool. That's one less bitch that's gonna be on goddamn government subsidy. Congratulations, idiot. You know, but they get mad when it's like a Tommy Lauren or something like that. But black women can see a black dude they don't even want and they will feel some type of way. Because in their mind, if a white chick is with him, he gotta be doing something.
On extremes. You say the black community loses their best and brightest when educated lames leave the community. You guys don't have the lock on being smart. Just because somebody's good looking and has charisma doesn't mean they're stupid.
Are you first of all, see, now we're jumping from charisma and charismatic. Let's be very clear here. The vast majority of dudes, like when you look at if you look at any other race, I'll give you a perfect example. Does Zuckerberg have charisma? No. Does Jeff Bezos have charisma? No. Does Elon Musk have charisma? No. Elon Musk has this quirky thing that kind of works for him, but Elon Musk does not have charisma. Does Robert Smith have charisma? No. He probably has more than them other two. Reginald Lewis had it. Most people, Don Peoples, not really, but you could give it to him. The black dudes clearly have more than the white dude. But this idea of charisma, see, this is the problem. You all can't separate what builds and what you're sexually attracted to. If you're dealing with a man that is smart and has charisma, bitch, don't expect him to cheat. Expect him to cheat. You're not gonna, like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna find Denzel, you're not gonna find Samuel L. Jackson. You just need to understand you're gonna be sharing that dude. The reality of the situation is it's not a whole bunch of dudes that are quote unquote charismatic and like I mean highly intelligent. I'm not saying dudes that charisma are not smart, but what I am saying is there's not a whole bunch of those dudes. There's not a whole bunch of 6 foot charismatic smart. And I promise you, if you deal with a dude, if you see a dude that's charismatic and smart, black, good luck, because other races of women are gonna snatch that straight up under you. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So if we're looking at the macro side of it and the law of the macro side and the law of averages, your brain drain, if it gets to a point where we're talking about a brain drain, and there's levels to charisma, and that's another thing. See, I hate when black women talk about confidence because dudes can be confident. It's like you ask like Elon Musk about space and stuff. There's certain people that are gonna be confident in certain things and not confident in others. I mean, people like, and that's the thing that black women don't understand. Black women have this sexual confidence, and that's the only thing they see, not understanding that confidence can manifest in a lot of different ways, depending on what somebody is comfortable with. Confidence is just what a man is comfortable with because he's done X amount of times. That's all that is. But women act like confidence is like this universal thing, and that's not true. I don't care what you say. A dude, you can have dudes that are perfectly comfortable in the hood. That if you drag their ass outside of that environment, they bitch up. You take niggas out of an environment they're comfortable with, and trust me, they're not gonna be as confident. They're not. Like, and women, black women don't understand that. I don't know if they've even been taught that or whatever. I want you to think about this. Now look at the picture that she's putting up. Now she put up Will Smith. She put up Will Smith. Now she put up Will Smith. Remember, this is 7 years ago. Now you see where Will Smith is today. But she put up Will Smith. You see all the bullshit Will Smith had to deal with Jada. But let's go.
Let's take Will Smith.
Let's take Will Smith.
He's good looking. His charisma is over 9,000, and he's smart.
Will Smith has been considered suspect for years now. I like Will Smith, okay, but I like Will Smith. But let's be real, there's not a whole bunch of Will Smiths running around. That's the thing. All of y'all are not, most of y'all, like, even if there's not a whole bunch of Will Smiths running around. There's not enough Will Smiths for all the 8s, 9s, and 10s. There's not, and then especially if you're talking about y'all got to compete with other races, women, good luck.
Had high SAT scores, and he was accepted into a
DDG had all that too, but they don't like DDG.
Pre-engineering program at MIT. Let's just put aside for the moment that he's rich, because even without being rich, he's still a very attractive guy.
Now notice how she puts up Will Smith like this. Like, let's be real. A lot of you bitches have never even met a dude with all of those credentials. Derrick Jackson don't got all those credentials. A lot of y'all bitches have not even seen a guy with all of that, let alone fuck the guy with all of that. That's Will Smith might as well be a fucking unicorn. And the reality of the situation is, look at how Will Jada treated Will Smith. Now, obviously, all of that happened after this video, but think about that. I want you to really think about that. So she's edifying him, and look how one black bitch just weighed him down to nothing. This is who she picked. Tom is a motherfucker, ain't it?
On all fronts, not just his looks. You guys want to act like guys like him don't exist.
They're unicorn. There might as well be unicorns. You can put Will Smith in the thug in the suit category. It's not that many of them.
Act as if men like Angel Ramirez Jordan don't exist.
Angel Ramirez Jordan, are you serious? For those of y'all don't know, Angel Ramirez Jordan, this is before Derek Jackson like really blew up. Angel Ramirez Jordan was like a light skinned version of Derek Jackson. And I don't even want to show you a picture of him. Like, dude, like you really want to bring up Angel, and number one, Angel Ramirez Jordan ain't smart. So what, like, you really want to compare Angel Ramirez Jordan to like Will Smith? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck, bitch! I know you like. That's who she like. That's what that is. That's why she had to slide that shit in. That's like if SWP slid in Six the Goddess. That's that honorable mention.
He's very articulate and good looking.
He's very articulate.
And I'm not saying that every black man who isn't an educated lame is like Will Smith. They might just simply be more charismatic than the educated lame, more good looking, better physique, so they went out over you. You're attracted.
The thing about it though is you all can pick. See, this whole, remember guys, this whole argument is really about black men dating interracially. Black men don't make videos about y'all dating outside of your race, but y'all make all these videos. Like, this is a video about black men telling you saying, see, the argument is you hate yourself, you hate your mama. That's the provincial wisdom as far as why black men date outside their race. And black men are saying, no, you reject this. And then the women respond saying, well, we reject you for these reasons. Here's where y'all fuck up. The reasons don't matter. The reasons are irrelevant. They could be complete. Let's say I give you all the cards on the table and I say chips on the table, say every reason you say is absolutely legitimate. Everything you say is right. However, in the market, in the capitalist market they're in, the dating market is kind of like capitalist market. Everything you say can be right. For instance, Androids are superior to iPhones. Androids have better cameras. Androids have more customization. Technically, the Play Store is a lot more extensive. Apple has some features too, and I like Apple. The iPad. Don't even get me started. There is no really comparison. However, we're talking about the phones. Androids are better. If you look at the best Androids and the best iPhones, Androids are better. It's not even a question. However, people want an iPhone. The end. The end. Apple can say all of that is true. Guess what though? Y'all make the same phone every phone. Yep. And guess what the next phone's gonna be? The same phone. And people are gonna buy it. You know what? Because I'm me. The end. And that's the same thing with the market. Everything you say could be true. If other women outside of you will date you, and those women are considered on a higher tier than you, regardless of white supremacy, at the end of the day, that man still has a choice. Everything you're saying really comes down to why men need to mold themselves behind what you want. See, these women love talking about confidence, swag, charisma, and all this other bullshit. If you look at the white men like, look at who Serena Williams dated. Serena Williams dated Common, Drake. It was a couple of people Serena Williams dated. She doesn't have a bad like list of people she dated. Guess the fuck what? At the end of the day, she picked the white boy, the Armenian, that is damn near smaller, shorter than her. Now, to Serena's credit, that Serena's wealth has increased, and I'm very sure it's because of Alexis Ohanian. I'm very sure that basically she gives him her check, and she basically is gave her a lot of money, making it so she don't look like a fool. And Alexis Ohanian's giving her a mixed race baby. So based on her fucking issues, she's pretty much getting what she wants out of this world. And I'm not saying, she just, look, Serena deserves to win. They call her all them names. She deserves to win. It's too bad what she's doing her face, but it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at that. But at the end of the fucking day, at the end, and when she got it, she's pretty much out of tennis, and there's other black girls that's giving these white women hell. It's like three of them, and I'm not even talking about Osaka, because Osaka can be suspect depending on where she want to go. Shout out to Coco. But at the end of the day, if you look at all the guys she picked from a swag standpoint, she picked the worst. She picked the least on that. But when it comes to business, all that, and guess what she's getting? You look at Eve. Eve. Look at who Eve ended up with. See, when they're white, none of that matters. And that pretty much kills your entire argument. Because if that's how y'all roll, then y'all can't say black men can't roll that way either. It's about choices. And ultimately, black men are going to do what the fuck we want regardless. This is about kind of putting a cloud of like guilt out there. All these reasons don't matter. What matters is who can you get. It doesn't matter what you want. It matters who can you get. And see, you at the end of the day, you may say, she said at the beginning of the video, oh, I don't care if black men shouldn't wait for black women. So why are we having a conversation? Because ultimately, we're telling you that dudes tried to date black women, regardless of the reason why you rejected. Remember, I say on this channel, black women can reject black men for anything, but the same black bitch is the same one bitching at the same nigga for taking his. If this dude tries to get high, play for a certain team, and then this team say, no, we don't want you, and then you go somewhere else, and then you're winning, and then you're mad. That's you. The Chicago Bears had the opportunity to get who's the quarterback on Baltimore, as well as I think Mahomes. We had the opportunity to get both of them. We passed on them. Guess who looks like a fool?
Attractiveness is also relative to what else is available, what your competition is. More charismatic than the educated lane, more good looking, better physique, so they went out over you. You're
And
attracted.
by the way, stop. And if you look at what most of these if you look at who a lot of these black chicks are, stop acting like all these black women are with just these charismatic physique guys. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck, y'all, like, stop it.
Attractiveness is also relative to what else is available, what your competition.
Yeah, it's also relative to what else you have access to. See, this argument we're having is predicated on the fact that y'all get the best men, which we all know is bullshit.
Is. You can even have smart thugs.
She pulled up Jay-Z. Now, how many people have said Jay-Z is ugly? The only thing Jay-Z got going for him is he tall. And the reason why Beyonce got with Jay-Z is part of charisma. It's also part of the same shit with Alexis Ohanian.
Thugs like Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is not a thug. Jay-Z is not a thug. Jay-Z, I'm not gonna say he's a street dude. Jay-Z is not a thug. Jay-Z has never considered himself, and he may say he's not a thug.
Used to be. He's still smart, but he's no longer a thug. So no, educated lames do not.
Jay-Z was never a thug. Jay-Z was never a thug.
Have the lock on smarts, but take away the educated part of education.
And the point is, you keep on. You could argue 50 Cent. You keep saying, you see how they keep on, like, how many Jay-Z's are really running around? Like, y'all really out here acting like, oh, well, you get, of course, Jay-Z is exceptional. What are you talking about? Jay-Z is an exception. Even like the archetype of Jay-Z is an exception. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, these, and see, this is the idea behind the type of dudes that they think they dating. You know what's crazy? This is who these women imprint who they're dating. They actually, I've told you, all these bitches be dating rappers in their mind. And they look for dudes that look or remind them of rappers they see on TV. Then they get disappointed.
Lane, and what do you have left? That's why you're not attractive. So you men.
And again, this chick is a kind of a big bitch. So when these chicks, and see, it's when you say you're not attractive, no, you need to add not attractive to black women. See, one thing black women will never say is a lot of dudes are just not culturally competitive with black women. Black women don't like you. And this is why, and if that wasn't true, y'all wouldn't be so if no woman liked black men, you all wouldn't be pressed. Because you all know that them niggas at the end of the day gotta deal with your bullshit. Gotta deal with your bullshit one way or the other. But the fact of the matter that you see black, remember, this is not that long ago. 7 years, it's not that long ago, right? It's not that long ago. It's not like interracial dating is a brand new fucking concept. But you got to think, Austin Holloman's what, like 24? Austin Holloman would have been 17 at this time. I say that because he's like bleeding edge when it comes to zillennials. So you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like this is the type of bullshit these bitches used to be on. And remember, this is pre-COVID, pre-Kevin. This is pre a lot of shit. Boy, they never imagined this shit would kind of go out the way that it's coming. They would never imagine that when they're talking this. They really thought this shit. And we used to tell people this shit is gonna shift. And this shit gonna shift under your ass. And when it does, you hoes are gonna be out here. And I used to say it. I used to be like, they're gonna double and triple down on fucking stupid because that's all they have. Let's do some shout outs to Murray. Shout out to Miss Salty, much appreciated. Shout out to Terrain Price. Hopefully that's not your government. Shout out to James. For the $10, shout out to James for the 5. Shout out to Jared Miller for the 30 and Rusho Gian for the 5. Much appreciated. Yeah, let me know if you he's 25. Okay, so you'd have been 18. Let me know. He said black women are Chicago Bears of women. Ah, shit, like the fucking Cleveland Cavaliers. Shout out to Angela. Let me know if y'all like me, like digging these old ones out, these oldies out. And there's a channel that exposed how black women historically accepted lower white men. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Only Logical, but there's other channels out there. I've seen some shorts that be talking like it's just black men don't talk about it. Y'all might want to see me go through some old David Carroll shit. But yeah, they it's constant. I don't know why they like we know that.
Want the freedom to choose women based on looks. Fine. But looks are superficial. And
So you went through all this fucking time talking about superficial shit. You sprinkle in the smart shit, but most of the shit you talking about. First of all, black women don't get what black if black women don't give a fuck how smart you are. If you being smart don't lead to money, they don't give a fuck about how smart you are, regardless of what the fuck they want to talk about. The niggas y'all be getting with, like again, who y'all be having kids by, and you know who you are. Let's stop playing.
we women are attracted to looks, charisma, and money, which you guys call superficial.
What what about being smart? That's what she said. What in there is smart? You see that?
Okay, then it's
I mean, it's not about it can be superficial. The issue is not it's superficial. Men want to be mad, that's cool. See, this is why I tell y'all not to argue with these chicks over with morality. I don't argue with women with morality. I don't argue. I argue with women on like the law of cause and effect. Meaning you are bitching about the men that you pick. Ultimately, you are accepting these men that you deal with. If you had a baby by them, we can you already know what. Please don't make me play the song. Don't make me play the song. Don't make me play the song.
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts.
These are the men you pick. And by the way, people be like, "Oh well, it's no black men keep the same energy with men that choose crazy women. We have a little bit more, um, grace for dudes that marry women. But if you a nut and a dumbass thing, like you see how people are going around, jumping on Jeezy. Well, I mean, technically, I mean, David Carroll has his videos. It's on YouTube. I have all his videos. It's actually in my Telegram. Oh yeah. Hold on. Have y'all heard the Spanish version? Have y'all seen heard the Spanish version? Hold on. Man, why y'all being stupid? Anyway, we ain't gonna do this right now. Let's keep it going.
To wash. You like superficial, we like superficial. That should have been the end of the conversation.
You're right. It should have been the end of the conversation. But the thing about it is, you talk as if black men started this bullshit. Y'all the ones that go all the way back to the talk show circuit, throwing black men's name under the bus. See, what women like her, even though she knows this to be true, but what she likes to pretend is not true, is she wants to act like niggas just got on YouTube, started talking shit about black women, and now black women responding. Like leaving out the fact all the music that threw black men under the bus, the talk shows that threw black men under the bus, even the talk shows that threw black men under the bus, that created this narrative that actually harms black women, harms black boys and black men. That black men are basically the scum of the earth because you all can't get the outcomes y'all want to get. That's really what it is. Well, I mean, it don't even matter. It don't even matter because real talk. I mean, what they gonna do? My channel's already demonetized, so they not even gonna look at my channel like that. I mean, they not gonna look at my channel like that, like that. Hold on, let's take a break from this bullshit real quick and get some levity. Because he did like a full version of it. Let's go. That laugh kills me. Yeah, I'm gonna break it up a little bit so I don't, you know.
We're back. Pero en español.
Tienes bebé nuevo contigo, pero no apellido. No esposo, no hombre, no nada, haciendo todo solo. Eres madre y padre en tu casa, porque un perdedor te embarado. Necesita practicar mejores decisiones. Tal vez no sabe cómo usar un anticonceptivo, porque nunca los usa. Tú quieres el pito.
Could you imagine if you was down in Mexico and you heard this shit being played? Could you imagine that shit?
Tus labios pueden hacer el trabajo, todos niños en tu estómago. Alguna vez entenderás la mujer, ay, no lo creo.
I want to see a black chick. I want to see that chick start reacting to like, he talking about us in Spanish. Oh my God.
No cantan, no nada, madre soltera. Y tienes 9 meses, madre soltera. No cantan, no nada, madre soltera. Y tienes 9 meses, madre soltera.
Yeah, that shit would blow up in Colombia. Shout out to him. Make sure y'all support that video. Man, y'all look, man, y'all better go buy that song for like $1.99. If anybody deserve your $1.99 per song, is him. Get that shit on Apple, wherever their songs is. Yeah. So definitely check that out. I need the damn that music video. Yeah, man, you gotta understand that type of market. And it's a good song. I mean, he ain't even talking shit like that in that song either. So, but yeah. Oh yeah, I told y'all this is who we got to get. We got to get the soft guy era to get up to this guy, man. We got to get him on board. We got to get not Brandon Jamal. He already know, but we got to get this dude on board. We got to get Hoodville on board, man. Y'all need to start flooding Hoodville with it. You get Hoodville on board, it's game over, man. Even Future shared, like, put his stuff on one of his concerts. We got to get Hoodville on board. We get Hoodville on board, it's game over. That's like our shade room. So anyway, let's jump back to the previous release, and let's finish this up.
Their lumps like the ugly girls had to. But no,
Educated, like talk about taking their lumps. The difference with ugly girls and the quote unquote black people are a lame black men. When y'all talk about educated lame, the yo black ass, because see, they like to use the term educated lames like all lames are educated. No, that's not true. Really what it is when see, it's crazy if you think about it. Black women like to lead with their education, yet they have this concept of educated lame. And this just goes years. And by the way, that's a term SWP came up with. And again, this is a dude that's in the sub. I want you to really keep in mind, SWP is from the suburbs. So of course, somebody like him would come up with some shit like that. Because to him, he sees it as a dividing line. He sees it as like this or that. When that's not really accurate. Um but when it comes to black men that are not, basically they're not, thugs, or they don't do the street aesthetic. The street aesthetic, see, this is how the street aesthetic was never supposed to take over the entire black community. It was never supposed to be that. This is a remnant of the crack era, which pretty much blew the fucking black community up. And you have these women justifying what they like. You can like what the fuck you like, but keep that same energy when you bitch and talk about how dangerous, violent, and evil black men are. Those are the men you like. So fucking deal with them. And if dude, like I say the same thing to black women, if you can do better over the fence, then bitch, it is your duty to hop the fence. But the problem is, you all hop the fence you all, even when you hop the fence, you all be trying to like make black men jealous and shit. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to you all hate yourself. That's really what that shit is. And so you all blast this out, and it's like everybody's supposed to pay because you don't like who you are. This is why even when these chicks get white, a lot of these chicks get white men, they still can't keep black men's name out they fucking mouth. And quiet as it's kept, a lot of these hoes be still fucking niggas. Why they be with a white dude? Because a lot of times the white dude that they're getting is like literally like grade, like not even grade B, C, or D. It's like grade F.
oh, out comes the interracial trump card. Women of other races like educated lanes, aka black nerds, because outside of the black community and even outside this.
First of all, even amongst quote unquote the term educated lame, like again, it's you're either a street guy, you're a fucking player, or like you see these archetypes that black women be having, black boxes. See, there is no normal. There is black men have to be this extreme of anything and everything. You notice that you're either a player, you're either a thug, it's like, and this goes to show you, they don't see you as a human being. They see you as a sex object, meaning your value is how you make them feel, or they see you as a resource object, or as far as you're concerned, you might as well be fucking dead.
Discussion on YouTube, nobody uses the term educated lames. They're nerds. If that's true that women of other races like nerds, then how come
Most black men are not nerds. Most black men are not nerds. They're not. So I don't. This is a term. I mean, these are words that women like to give to describe what they're not sexually attracted to. But again, black women will date white men that are nerds if they fuck with them. So it has nothing to do with quote unquote being a nerd. It's everything to do with black men are operating in a negative. In a negative when it comes to black women because black women don't like their own blackness.
gurus like Tom Likas, who advise men on how to get women, tell men to go to the gym, get their money up, and they even advise them that they might need to become
Yeah, because that's what Tom Likas did.
a little bit of a jerk. But I have never heard a single one of these gurus say, become a nerd. Go to the library and read books. Enroll in college. That'll get you
So what does that mean? What does that mean? No, it won't get you if your goal is to just be fucking bitches. No, that's not gonna get you there. But again, men are multifaceted. Men are multifaceted. Like everybody should be in shape. That's not something you should just do for a bitch. Everybody should be in shape. So it's not like a special thing. But here's the problem. The problem is that you all are bitching about being in poverty, yet you all are not picking attributes that would not lead to you not being in poverty. So there's a cost. So if you want to do that, cool, keep that same energy. And the thing is, you keep talking. She knows how she said ugly girls like me. Like you're having this argument like this is first ugly versus ugly argument. If you're a woman and dudes are not picking you, then you really don't got a lot. You really don't got a lot of places to go. You really don't. See, dudes can improve. You all really are kind of where y'all at for the most part. Unless you want to go under the knife. This is why these chicks are going to the Dominican Republic and dying on the table trying to get asses and shit. Getting makeup, weave, booty implants.
all the women. If nerds really got women's underwear wet, then nerds would have the most women worldwide.
That's not where she's misunderstanding. First of all, these guys are nerds. Like a white person's definition of a nerd and a black person's definition of a nerd. See, a black woman would call Young Ripper a nerd because black women are hyper masculinized. So your definition of a nerd, like to them, everybody white men have this special status, so they don't count. But the reality is, unless you're either a thug or you're a nerd, this is representative in the types of men y'all chasing, what y'all deal with, because y'all weren't taught to value anything else. So even in guys that like again, they think you're an Urkel. How many Urkels have you really seen, like in real life? Like let's be real about that. But again, they want to cloak their hypersexuality in trying to call normal dudes nerds. And then y'all wonder why y'all can't get no man.
The running joke about nerds is that they're so smart, but they still can't figure out how to get women. So don't.
Again, you're talking about this from a fucking this is TV, television show, social media. This is like TV shit. Sounds like he's talking about Screech from fucking Saved by the Bell or some shit. Like, look at the picture she shows. Interesting how she found a white man to show that picture in. Let's cut the bullshit. And even if you get the fuck out of here.
Give me this line about women of other races being attracted to nerds.
If that wasn't true, then y'all wouldn't be bitching about black men dating outside their race. Y'all wouldn't care because it's not a sexual threat. So you hold on. Here's the thing. Black women, you don't have to believe it. Nobody cares. Because unlike you all tell us what other races are doing for y'all. Lies. Y'all say that because you all are trying to goat black men that you want, or black men that you want their money into doing something for you. Black men aren't necessarily doing that. This is also, by the way, why passport bros irks their ass so much.
Yes, there are exceptions, but exceptions don't disprove the rule. I don't see any evidence that women of other races like nerds, other than your hopes and dreams that it's true. Now, if you're saying that it's true based on your own experiences, then fine. I can't argue with that.
First of all, nobody really, even BGS was not out here saying that. What BGS was saying back then is other races have a different definition of what nerd is. See, what never gets factored into these arguments, and I just said this, I'm going to say it again, is the cultural compatibility. Black women are socialized a certain type of way. You all are socialized a certain type of way. And quite frankly, that makes you incompatible with most dudes. It really does. The dudes y'all want, y'all can't really get because y'all ain't gonna get white dudes like that. Not unless it's like throwaways, or unless y'all basically tricking off for one, like Serena basically did. And the black dudes that y'all really want, well, y'all don't really want to share, and y'all gonna have to share them with other black women. That's really what it is. And then the guys that y'all want to fall back to, once y'all have been used and ran through, well, the best of those guys are gonna be taken by somebody else. And so what women try to do is they try to compartmentalize shit. Just they always want to put themselves in a position to where it's like they're choosing because it makes them feel better about themselves. So I may be at the bottom for all women, but I'm better than that nerd. Until they see that nerd with a decent looking white chick or an average looking white chick. Now they're mad because now they're thinking about resources leaving.
But pardon me if I'm not convinced due to lack of evidence.
You don't have to be convinced. It's like we don't do this to convince you. Like BGS didn't ask you to make a video. We don't do this to convince you. And you know what's funny? Again, remember that yesterday, like even Rom got pissed off about the shit that she was saying because she was being very disingenuous.
Plus evidence to the contrary. If you're saying that women of other races look at this guy and that they're just as likely to pick the nerd as
nobody's saying that. You're a liar. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. You're a liar. I'll give you a perfect example. What's the dude's name from Insecure? Not Daniel, but the other Lawrence. It's more like that. It's more like that. Black women will play games with a guy like that because they think he'll always be around. So stop playing. Stop lying. Like that is not what men saying. Men have never said that. And even when Obsidian says that he's trolling, stop lying.
The other guy, then I hope that's true for your sake.
But you need to, and the thing is, you notice how they try to make our arguments extreme like that because that's the only way they can be right.
But the evidence doesn't support that.
Nerdy white girls just clung to. They had 2 or 3 nerdy white girls clinging to them, and they used to go all over the school and go on trips, and I'm sure they were having sex and whatnot. And these guys were nothing to look at. These weren't big, tall, strapping, handsome dudes. These guys all over the school and go on trips.
Doesn't support that.
Nerdy white girls just clung.
Notice how he said nerdy white girls. Notice how he said nerdy white girls. Notice how he said that. He didn't nerdy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the thing about nerdy white girls, dealing with a black dude has a taboo in it of itself. That's why I said about culture compatibility. And again, when she puts pictures of nerdy white guy, basically, if you looked at the picture that she showed, she basically showed an incel. Most dudes are not dressing, looking retarded like that because they will be clowned. So stop acting like dudes are out here looking smelly, musty, and dusty. That is not what the fuck people are talking about. What BGS was more talking about are dudes. They basically got a mom and a dad, basically suburbs. They can, they ain't got the stench of fucking poverty necessarily on them. Or if they do, they're tall or something like that. And get the fuck out of here. Yo, real talk. If you look at Future's look at Future's high school pictures. Future could qualify as a quote unquote nerd. So again, the thing that she fails to understand, what she tries to pretend is all the complaints y'all make are off the niggas y'all pick. You act like that's not out there and you can reset the conversation.
They had 2 or 3 nerdy white girls clinging to them, and they used to go all over the school and go on trips, and I'm sure they were having sex and whatnot. And these guys were nothing to look at. These weren't big, tall, strapping, handsome dudes. They could get the white girls when we couldn't. Because white girls like different things. They could relate to the white girls.
Okay, first you say nerdy white girls, then seconds later you just say white girls. You're trying to take the act.
No, that's not what he's. No. Don't try to flip that. That is not what he's doing. He's not doing that. He said nerdy white girls to emphasize that. He said white girl. He doesn't need to say nerdy white girls every single time. He does nerdy white girls. See, I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's some shit a lame would do. That's some lame shit. Like that's some socially awkward shit. So if you say something and you put an adjective in front of it, and you, especially if you do it like twice, twice, okay, if you refer to that thing, then we understand, people that have social skills, we understand that yes, you're talking still about that adjective until you change it. Regular people, like people with so normal social skills, understand that in the context of a conversation, versus you're sitting here trying, no, let's stop playing. And to be fair to even BGS with that, you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. You would be surprised. For example, I am short. I date black women. I've dated black women. But I will tell you, I've gotten white females that even a lot of white dudes was like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? And then the black chicks, with me, it was what it was. But they would sit there and they try to ask, "Oh, young, why you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I date every chick. If I like how they look, that's what it's gonna be. It ain't no fucking. I ain't got no exclusive rights. I ain't signed no exclusive rights contract. Anybody franchising me or no shit. And they wouldn't get as mad with me, but yeah. So what are you talking about? And to be straight up with you, 1, 2, 3. Man, please. I've dated better looking chicks than all them hoes.
Actions of a few nerdy white girls and smear it over the whole race.
First of all, white women are the largest demographic in the United States of America. That's facts. You don't need a whole bunch of white women in order to date black men, because black men are only 6% of the population. So no, he's not saying that. Furthermore, BGS is out of California. She knew that at that time. So what are we really talking about? Like, nobody's smearing nothing. He's talking about what it is in California. Just like how now you notice how black men feel some type of way about him talking about the Hispanics 7 years later. Like, y'all is slow bus, man.
Again, how come nerds don't get the most women? Nobody would argue that.
Nobody is saying nerds get the most women. That's not what folks are saying. And by the way, when you keep saying nerds, you're looking at nerds as a category group. Everybody is their own individual. Everybody's their own individual. And by the way, just FYI, there's different layers of white women. You have the Ace of Spades white women types. And even back then, it depends on how easily they can access black men. That's another thing, because every thuggo ain't going to every school. You think there's thugs in these white bitches in these good school districts like that? That's not how that typically works. So it's also kind of a class thing too. Because remember, we go to schools in our area. Everywhere ain't inner city. So you're not going to have that like that. But see, all this stuff isn't entering into her head in real time as she's saying it, because she's speaking from what she can't fucking get. And you think you can debate your way out of that shit. No, I've gone to all black school in my school career. I've gone to mixed schools. I've been to more mixed schools than not mixed schools. And I can tell you that it just depends on how the district was. And even in North Carolina, they tried to switch it up where they bus certain people to other districts just to try to mix that shit up a little bit. So yeah, I've seen this in real time. And you'd be surprised.
Except you guys. You guys do a whole lot of smearing. You guys brag about how attractive black men are, and I won't argue with that. In general, black men are very attractive. So you guys want to take this thing about black men being attractive and try to smear it over guys who aren't attractive. You guys
is attractive according to a black woman. Black women tend to like different shit than other women. You all have a hyper masculinized view of like viewpoint based on what y'all want. It's very known that outside of white men, you all are like the hardest to deal with. So again, and look at the pictures that she's showing. So there's BGS saying there's nothing to look at, and there's Flavor Flav. And say what you want to, Lil Wayne got Laura London. Cut the bullshit. So if you put some quote unquote hip hop swag on a Flavor Flav, you bitch will fuck with them. Most of your rappers are short. Future's an exception. Jay-Z's an exception. J. Cole's an exception. Drake. Today's rappers tend to be a lot taller than they used to be, but trust and believe in the 2000s and in the 90s, these motherfuckers were not that tall by average.
just want black men to be attractive in all forms. The unattractive black man does not exist.
This is projection. Even BGS just said And that shit ain't nothing to look at. This is the project. And by the way, low key, black women believe that, which is why black women always are hating on black men. This is why black women spend so much time basically trying to like shit on the name of black men so you can get other bitches from not fucking with black men. Like nobody is saying that. But in you, from you all's perspective, that y'all feel that way.
In you guys' world. Why? Because there are some white women who are willing to take them. Okay, what kind of white women? Oh, no, we don't care about that. We don't care what kind of women these are. The point is they'll take us.
No, that's projection because you all do the same thing with black men. And at the end of the day, if they're happy, they're happy. Again, black men are not typically saying, I got this white bitch, nah, 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 nah. Black men are not really doing that. They're not really doing that. That's what you all do because you all are trying to exert control from black men. This is why this conversation is all I'll prove it. I'll prove it. Why is the conversation generally one way? Why is the conversation always about who black men are interracially dating? It's rarely, black men are rarely really having conversations or prolonged trends of conversations about who you all are dating. We may talk about it, about the hypocrisy of shit, but other than that, black men are not really having that conversation. Black men are not hot and bothered and out of pocket over who you all are dealing with. But at the same time, when y'all want to blame us when y'all get caught up, that's when we say something. But yeah, this conversation is always, even in the fucking Oprah shows. Oh man, black men, they just interracially date. They've been saying that shit since the late 80s, early 90s. You all are the one that are pressed. That's why they bring it up. But you don't ever see them bring that up with black men. If you see a Alfred Woodard or a black woman, well, shit, we got a fucking vice president. It's never a big deal. Susan Wright, never a big deal. But with black men, oh shit. Let Colin Powell's wife been white. Oh shit. Look, even with Robert Smith, the first thing when people started to find out who Robert Smith was, the first fucking thing they Googled him, they saw a white bitch, lost their mind. Fuck the fact that he had a mixed, his ex-wife was black, was pretty much black. She mixed, but pretty much black. Just as black as Stephen Curry's mom. That don't count. It don't count. His kids are more black than they're not. They're 3/4 black. Don't count. Fuck it. Nah, he with a white bitch now. Fuck him. Blah, blah, blah. They don't even talk about the second richest dude. It's like 5 billion. And he is with a black woman. As black as Denzel's wife. Straight up. Michelle Obama style. Don't even mention him.
So suck it, black women. See, we are attractive. You just can't see.
Black men don't do that. Black men don't date outside their race to spite black women. We don't do that. It's a sexual access thing. But see, you won't see that as a woman because y'all can just give pussy away.
You mentioned a Japanese girl that passed over several black guys for a nerdy white guy. You need to go.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes absolute sense. Asians have their own social construct when it comes to that shit based on their own history.
Watch a few videos from a YouTuber called Eurasian Writer. You may not accept what I'm about to say coming from me, so maybe you should go hear it from him. First off, you seem to think that women of other races see all races of men.
First of all, even hearing it from them, all these guys got white fragility issues when it comes to black men. There's a reason why they put so much energy in trying. If their women just did not want black men under no circumstances, they wouldn't need to put that kind of so much energy into keeping black men away from their women or keeping their women away from black men. They wouldn't need to shit on, like nobody shits on fat people. Why? Because they're fat.
Equally, getting with a white guy is the same thing as getting with a black guy. You're all on.
No, it's not. Getting with a no. Look, I'm not saying all Asians kiss white ass because they don't, but most Asian men, trust me, if you ask any Asian family, would you rather their daughter bring home? I get Asians number one, but if it was a number two race, would it be a white guy or anybody else? They would say, might as well just bring home a white dude. We'll just imprint the culture onto him. Stop that. Like, stop that.
Equal footing. It's just a matter of what flavor you like. No, BGS, because there's something called a racial hierarchy, and Asians are very adherent to that hierarchy. A lot of Asian parents tell their kids, okay, we want you to.
Oh, I just said that. Here's the thing, though. Asians are built. There's like China is like 1.2 billion. Fucking India is like 1.3 billion. But even if you take India off the table, We don't. It's Black African Americans are 6% of the fucking population. Then you, and by the way, shout out to Christian Hutchinson, who has a Chinese wife, and not no throwaway Chinese wife either. You'd be surprised. We don't need a whole bunch. We don't need the worst scraping the bottom of a barrel. We don't need that. Remember, Bill Gates' daughter dated a black dude. FYI.
marry inside the race, but if you have to go outside the race, white is the only acceptable option. So it very well may have been that this Japanese girl couldn't bring a black guy home, even if she could.
Nah, that's not true. Well, I just said what she just said. But again, you're saying Japanese like Japanese is all Asian. So you got Vietnamese. First of all, a lot of groups adhere to quote unquote racial hierarchy. That's not just Asians. Hispanics, you can argue, do that as well. Also, you have this term called jungle Asians, which is like, Vietnamese, Cambodia, stuff like that. That is not the same as like your Koreans, your Chinese, which your Han. And then obviously if you look at like Chinese, you got Singaporean, Taiwanese, you like it's it's a lot of different mix right there. Even within that main ethnic group, and Japanese obviously its own thing. You wouldn't even like, so there's a whole bunch of Asians, even if you take Indian, Pakistanis and stuff like that out of it. With that being said, even if you just filter for any one of them groups, I mean, remember, Naomi Osaka is a product of a dark-skinned Haitian man and an Asian wife. So again, what are we talking about? We're not talking about 1-to-1. And then we're talking like, then the statistics still show that black men still majorly have kids with black women. So what the fuck are you talking about? Again, these bitches be just talking out their ass, and they look for things that validate their narrative. See, I actually look for what's actually true, not what the narrative is.
Could bring a white guy home. It doesn't sound like that possibility even crossed your mind. Also, and this is where you may have to
see what she said, that possibility didn't even cross her mind. Now keep in mind, back then BGS, and here's the funny thing, BGS did just to piss this chick off. This is one of the first time BGS basically got that what was it, the Jet magazine, where it was showing a black man and the Asian chick all the way in the 40s. He pulled this out for her ass, and she didn't like that shit.
To go hear it from Eurasian writer. A lot of Japanese, Chinese, and Korean women are self-hating and white worshiping. These women.
Did I not just say that? And by the way, a lot of black, you guys Xanatos clutch and stuff like that, but a lot of black men, they prefer the Vietnamese, the Thais, the more melanated Asians, because dudes like that Blasian look. So dudes don't even be pressed. There's exceptions. Shout out to Clutch, but dudes don't even be pressed for, like, the dudes are really not pressed for Korean. Korean needs to be mixed with something. Black men don't like Korean straight. You got to be mixed with some shit. You got something, because they have very strong genetics, but y'all almost mix that shit in with something. Chinese too, but it depends. Japanese too. A lot of dudes be wanting them mixed with something. Black men are not. That's that shit that white guys like. Those chicks are typically built like what, especially Japanese. They're built like what white men like. Black men tend to prefer the shorter, the chicks that are they're shorter, and they have more meat on their bones, a little bit.
Women openly tell Asian guys, I don't date Asian guys. The biggest chunk of interracial marriages is between white people and Hispanic people. But since Hispanics can be of any race, I'm going to throw that out and go to the next biggest group, which is Asian women and white.
That's not even true. The truth is that's not even true, because there's not that many Asian women in here for that to be a number. Yeah, you're making that argument by percentage. And again, like, so it's one of these things where if you want to push a certain narrative, you can make it sound like that. And yes, Asian women are, especially now, 7 years later, a lot of white dudes like to go to them, but let's stop it. They like Asian white pairings. First of all, Asian and white pairings will be absorbed by the white community, and they're not overtaking jack shit. Like, let's just be real about that. So no, it's not as big as you want to make it sound like. Yeah, what's up? Do Japanese women make better wives? Was the title? Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, yeah, they call them. Yeah, that's what these Asians call them. You know, I don't call them that. That's what they call them. White supremacy already paid it exactly, and I call it genetic debt. Phil did too. But see, they don't care. That's why when they talk about that, oh, what you're gonna pass your wealth to, that doesn't matter. Look at Michael Jordan. They talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a whole bunch of kids with his first wife and paid his wife off. But they don't care about that. That's just some shit they throw out there just to have a reason to say something. Shout out to Black Mind. But ultimately, that's not really the thing. Again, appreciate y'all hitting the Cash App. You know, make sure y'all hit up that TikTok as well. TikTok as well. Much appreciated with that. Also, because like I said, that's going to be lit. Right now, we are at 15. So definitely appreciate that. Appreciate y'all watching that first one with the paternity fraud. Trust me, more to come. So let's go. We're almost done.
Men. That's the case despite Asian people being like only 4% of the US population. That means there's a whole
Glad you acknowledged that.
lot of them marrying out to white men. A whole lot.
Okay. And so what you don't understand when you say that shit is all that means is building don't mean shit. So when y'all want to jump to, oh, it's because y'all ain't built shit, then explain to me why all these Asian women jump.
Black and Asian marriages are minuscule compared to other pairings. You think that might have had something to do with it?
No, but a big part of it is black men don't be pressed to date Asians like that. Did you ever consider that shit? And also, black and a lot of Asians are on the West Coast. Asians aren't everywhere, so it ain't like all dudes like like it's not pressed like that. It's not the same thing.
Eurasian writer says that a lot of these women will take anything white, and especially
That's true for black women too.
Anything white over black. They don't necessarily like the dude, but they want his white genetics for their children.
Asians still can be bad with that, but it's more of them in here, so it's more of a variety. But again, dudes don't need dudes don't need most Asian bitches to be fucking with them. The Asian chicks that do fuck with black men are around black men, and it's not necessarily the Asian chicks that are just for black men only, like the burner coal pay the toll types. Like again. And this is the same shit where these bitches be bitching about black promotion and shit like that. But anyway. And by the way, these chicks wish they could do what Asians do.
Black genes have no benefit to Asian women. An Asian woman having a baby with a white guy is not the same thing as having a baby with a black guy. Maybe.
So if you all believe this, then why is it that you all are pressed about? See, all of this leads to one inevitable conclusion. Why do y'all care about black men dating out? Why do y'all care about black men, going overseas? Because if you know this to be true and you believe this to be true, why convince me? Let me find out and let me come crawling back. Because I found out I ain't shit. You see, they kind of told on themselves when they got so angry about black men traveling, because again, they don't want the flood. If it was really like what she says to the level that she says, they wouldn't have a problem with black men traveling because you're gonna come back anyway. It's just like how black men aren't pressed with y'all dating out. Black men don't be pressed about y'all doing that because we know how that story ends. At the end of the day, a lot of black men bring it up when y'all say it because they want to protect y'all, but really, I'm like, fuck around and find out.
If these black guys wanted to win over that Japanese girl, they should have made more money. Maybe that would have turned her head.
Black men are not pressed. No, honestly, it won't work. That won't work. Not with Japanese. But black men are not pressed. Black men are not pressed. Black men are not pressed to date Japanese. I mean, that's retarded.
Because then you're a benefit to her. I showed you a video illustrating this and you didn't say anything about it. Of course not. This is the stuff that interracial Trump card holders don't want to talk about.
You see, it's funny. She actually thinks she's smart.
Why didn't you acknowledge the video? You'll accuse black women all day and all night of ignoring facts and glossing over inconvenient things, but then you completely ignore the video I showed you. What's that?
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit. You think the video is, you think you got a gotcha moment. People don't have to, like, what are you talking about? Just because he ignored her video, like, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck are you? This sound like, who the fuck are you? You just ignored this. Like, see, you used to SWP responding to everything, every fucking thing you say. Who the fuck are you?
Saying you guys like to use feels to a fact fight? What about them facts? So, If women of other races are all over educated lames, like you say, then my next question.
That's not really what BGS is saying, though. That's not. See, you keep on looking at everything like a group. That's not what he's saying. You're like over, yeah.
Would be why. There's no benefit for women of other races to be with men who are on the bottom of the racial hierarchy. So there has to be something to draw.
And that is what white men think as well. And that's what white men can't figure out. That's actually what perplexes white men. How is this happening? Asian men say the same. How is this happening? Even these men haven't figured that the fuck out.
All them there. And no, it's not being a nerd or being smart. What draws them has to be something that's better than what they can get on their side of the fence.
It's not necessarily true, because what you're not anticipating is you're not anticipating like control factors. You're not anticipating patriarchy. You're not anticipating more cooperation. There's a lot of things you're not anticipating. You're not anticipating the emotional labor that black men do. How black men have been socialized to really give a lot to women that you all just think is just what it is. There's a lot of things you're not considering, but I understand that because you don't get that from men. So I can understand why you don't factor that in. So it's okay.
That's what the video proved. Of course, there are exceptions. Yes, there are non-black women who just like black men and would not take.
We're not talking about exceptions. Trust me, it's more non-black women that like black men. There are non-black men that will take black women seriously. Yeah, they may fuck you on some jungle fucking, but will they really be seen with you, be married with you, claim you? It's a lot more of that, and that's why y'all be mad. So stop playing.
A man
Stop the cap.
Of her own race. But I'm talking about the majority. The reason I'm going through all this is because you guys throw up the interracial trump card.
It's not Shay Sade.
Every time you get backed into a corner. I showed you.
We don't need to throw the interracial trump card. It's not about being backed in a corner. Like, what argument are you having? Like, what are you having? At the end of the day, this is the manosphere started because y'all be lying on us. And we wanted to know, was this shit serious, and break this shit down? So, see, you got to understand, she's arguing from a factor of trying to get black men. This is the early stages when they kept trying to get black men in their little ball that they could control once black men started really telling the truth about what's going on. And this was like one of their earlier attempts in trying to check that shit. I want you to think about it a lot. Remember what I used to tell you all when I used to tell you all that it used to be like our word versus theirs? That we had to, we didn't have them really just snitching on themselves. See, now they tell on themselves a lot more heavily now. Appreciate the 7 appreciate the new subscribers. We're 7 over 9,500.
You guys, why educated lames were unattractive, and you guys agreed.
Now she continues to repeat the same trope, the same facts over and over again. Money, looks, power that women are attracted to, which makes sense.
And Ron Wills, this is where you come in. In your video response to me, you also agreed with my premise.
And this is why Ron Wills got mad at her, because the thing about it is the difference is she clips. I see what Ron is talking about now. You like to clip shit in to validate your argument, which I understand that people do that for that, but you don't give the full context. You like to pick and choose the white thing, and that's what Ron was really getting mad about. And I want you to notice something else. Notice that she did not put the link of both videos in her chat. She didn't do that, so I can hear the full context of what's being said. Because why? Because she's wanting to push a narrative, and you got a lot of these girls pre-Steph Co, that they're upset at their position, and they think black men are supposed to try to butter them up. Anyway. I mean,
Premise?
Basically, she was addressing that educated lame argument, and her general argument was, the educated lames are just not that attractive. She was talking about they didn't have money, they weren't that handsome, and they didn't have charisma. And I thought about it, and I was just like, you know what? That's a fair argument.
And the reason you are willing to concede that fact is
I can see why Rob got mad. I see why Rob was in them comments like, bitch. I can see where, like, the thing that see the problem with women is women. See, here's the difference between men and women, and this is not always true, but this a lot of times this is true. Women, obviously, they're looking at men from the perspective of how a man makes them feel, and then they interpret that. Versus men are, because we're more visual, like we can compartmentalize the bitch has a busted face, but that ass though, or them titties, or depending on what you like, right? What you like, don't like. Women tend to not be able to do that. They tend to look at stuff in its whole entirety, and if they and again, the problem with women in general, black women in particular, is you all are picking just straight. You all are picking based on superficial shit, and the difference is you all are bitching based on the outcome of what you're picking based on, and so you get mad, and then you think. Again, all the complaints are of the dudes that you either want or the dudes that y'all are fucking with. That's really what y'all are picking. So it ain't got nothing to do with what a nigga built. It ain't all the stuff y'all try to bring up to justify why y'all pick what y'all. No, no, it basically is just what your pussy wants. And guess what? That's fine. But nobody's supposed to give a fuck about you in the aftermath of that. That's the problem. And in this case, this is a chick that's upset because she can't get what she wants. And then she thinks she's just gonna, intersectional feminism and wag her finger at black men. It's like, it don't matter. And I'm gonna tell you, the biggest thing that a lot of black women can't stand about black men is they have this thing where they just don't sense that black men have this self-loathing about being black that black women do. And that's something that really bothers black women. I can tell.
Because you thought the interracial Trump card was going to shut everything down. But anyway, BGS and Rom Wills, if you guys want to keep pushing this idea that women of other races are attracted to nerds, because we all know that nerds in other races get the most women, go right ahead. And
Yeah, and none of them ever said that. Like, that's something you keep adding on to. And the funny thing about it is, y'all are the ones talking about black men. Like the thing that like black women already fucked up your argument. Black men, like black women in the 90s were talking about how much black men were interracially dating. So that's not a new concept. Like y'all been bitching about that. This is out of black women's mouth. So are all of them liars? Is Oprah a liar? Were all of them women talk about why are black men not picking black women and why I can't find no man? See, here's the funny thing. Black women will talk about how they can't find no man, but now you got all these dudes that you're not attracted to. So which is it? You can't find no man, or you just are not attracted? Oh, they're lame, they're boring, they're this. Okay, let's be clear. Nobody is old. You're not owed a man that you want. You are like, so there's a big difference in saying there's no eligible men that are available versus there's no men I want to date. See, when let me give you an example. When Lizzo tried to talk to Chris Evans, nobody feels sorry for her that Chris Evans wasn't interested. When you all can't get the men you want, that's a personal problem. That's not a black community problem. Men are not up to the standards that you want. And then we got to assume what those standards are. That is not a pro-black problem. And then on top of that, if you look at the men you all are picking in reference to the men that you all claim y'all don't want, yeah, it makes y'all look kind of bad. It really does. And that's the thing. See, all this bullshit that she talked, I wanted to get it to the end. She doesn't understand. She fucked up in the beginning. The beginning, she fucked up. If the argument women were making up until like the 2010s was there are no men available. We know now that's not true. You don't like the men that are quote unquote in the pool. That's not that's not a social issue though, especially in a situation where you live in a country that those men are from the male pool are like what 15% of the population. So that's a minority of men. You have all these other men that y'all can date. So why don't you date them? Oh, racism, white supremacy. That's also not a problem because y'all can date dudes in the diaspora. So at some point, what's the issue? Why are we having a conversation? See, black men are not really complaining about who you all are dating. Black men are complaining about you all trying to throw black men under the bus because you don't like who black men are dealing with.
also, you can keep on not caring why women of other races become attracted to you, despite evidence that I showed you that you didn't even address. You're doing your listeners a disservice.
Women of other races, it doesn't matter when it comes to a sexual access standpoint. The whys don't matter, not necessarily. The whys don't matter. Like, oh well, she likes light skinned guys because of she's colorist. Okay, that may be a problem in a relationship, but if I'm just fucking and I like what the bitch looks like, that's not the same thing. And please,
by not telling them the truth. I hope it works out for you guys. But if you're making choices in women based on lies, it probably won't. It's time for you guys to burn this interracial trump card. Interracial trump card.
You know what makes it so funny? This bitch really had to edit this shit. I mean, you just can't speak from the heart. Like, I want y'all to understand. She didn't clip this shit about 7 or 8 times. Like, maybe 9 or 10 times I've seen. I've been clocking it. I just ain't been saying nothing. Like, I'm talking straight off the cuff. I don't need to do that. This is why a lot of these chicks don't like to talk. They see, this is the old school way of doing it, to be fair, but this is why a lot of these people don't like to talk in an actual conversation, because they know in a real-time conversation they can't hold up.
Interracial trump card. 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 Interracial trump card.
That's her doing this. She thinks she's being funny.
Card. Interracial trump 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 card. Interracial trump. Interracial trump card.
So let the record show. So she want to talk about lames. She want to talk about lames, right? She want to talk about lames, right?
Trump card. But if you're making choices in women based
on
interracial trump card,
she thought it was cute to do interracial, to literally copy and paste interracial trump card for pretty much a minute and a half. So pretty much what she did with her lame ass is you pretty much sat there on this fucking computer, either using Camtasia costs too much. Your broke ass is probably using that old school Windows Movie Maker. For free. And look, I'm not hating. People got to do what they got to do, right? You took a picture and you post, and look, man, and you pretty much copied and pasted that shit over and over and over again, because Windows Movie Maker don't let you group it. So you had to have copied and pasted that bitch in the timeline at least like 25 or 30 times. And you really thought you was doing something. Either that or maybe the shit just edited, just busted it out in the upload, if I'm gonna be nice. And she really thought she was doing something. Look.
Interracial trump card. 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 Interracial trump card.
She actually like interracial trump card. Y'all are using the interracial trump card. Y'all using the interracial trump card. I mean, get the fuck out of here. We got the passport trump card now. We got the soft guy trump card now. And this is before SYSBM really became a thing for real, for real. Like, she really did that. She really thought she was doing some shit, yo. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna show BDS. I'm gonna sauce this shit up in the end. Yeah. This is the old school bullshit that we used to deal with, man. Well, it depends on which agent you're dealing with. I mean, people are trying to broad stroke a lot of people. But anyway, so yeah, we got through it, guys. I appreciate it. I would do a panel, but I do have other stuff to do. Yeah, basically what happened to her is basically she tried to go in the middle. She basically realized black women are losing their fucking minds, and you know what black women do. They get like the Borg hive mind, and they got in that ass. You know how black women do, and she couldn't take that heat. She couldn't take it when black women were getting in that ass, man. Black women were getting in her ass, boy. She left YouTube like a lot of folks did, man. Niggas don't play. Yeah, them chicks try to pull her collar. They was like, bitch, come here. They did that Sharkeisha. Oh my God. Sharkeisha. Oh, this is bullshit. Motherfuckers. I ain't gonna lie, man. I was looking for that check, and then when I realized that shit wasn't coming through, I was like, ooh, hold on, what else? I was like, I know I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, no, I'm playing. Who this chick? Oh yeah, this chick. You know, she one of them chicks that she won't put her face out there. I don't care what you say, man. Any of these women, any woman, I don't care what you like. These chicks, when you know, a lot of these chicks don't put their face out there because they know what time it's gonna be. I'd have been on the other side of that meeting, man. Niggas come in here because they thought they was gonna get that check, and then they walk. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! And then I'd be like,
You're a victim.
Here we go.
oh, yeah. Shout out to this. Marta was like, yeah, man, she bad, but it was hard having to tell her ass how to move, how to walk. And that bitch was trying to investigate, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, two movies is gonna kill. Eh. Yeah, oh, you still here? You like, yeah, that shit was frustrated, man. Yeah, Marty needs to make a fucking ebook. You know, in the shiny belt buckles. Niggas, that's how it is in New York. Niggas be like, yeah, man, shit. They be holding it like, yeah, you got shiny belt buckles. Yeah, bitch. Them hoes we talk about swag. We know what it is. It's the shiny belt buckles. Why you pick him? He got a shiny belt buckle. I'll see if I can dig up some old stuff. And Marty, I ain't forgot about you with that reaction shit. Hell, and shout out to that Wolverine Deadpool movie. You got that movie that's gonna kill. Hey, yo, honestly, this is a good year. This has been a good year for dudes so far. You got the Invincible series. It's pretty much has been solid. You know, they got for those spoiler alert. You know, Amber broke up. They broke up with Amber. Then you got the X-Men series has been good. Then you got Joker's coming out. Joker's coming out. Then you got this Deadpool movie coming out. You could throw in Godzilla as well. You know, people pretty much like that for what it was. Yeah, people have been talking about Fallout. I'll probably get the Fallout. I've been looking at the lore kind of in the background. So but I'm gonna get around to Fallout. Technically, that new Suits pilot is supposed to come out with Stephen Amell. It's been honestly, it's been pretty solid. You know, remember 2024 was supposed to be trash. Yeah, I saw the trailer. Marty, you should react to that shit with Erica, by the way. But yeah, I saw. I saw it. I mean, I'm not going. Oh my, you know, because when I watch trailers, I watch a lot of reactions as well. So, um, yeah, I didn't see. I'm not gonna see Civil War. Yeah, you should do that because that's a quick one. And I'm telling you, people like to do react, like look at different people's reactions. I'm not gonna lie though. I thought, what's the chick that played the chosen, the ancient one? Tilda Swinton. Tilda Swinton really should have played. I'm sticking to this. Tilda Swinton should have played. I'm sure they didn't want to pay her, which is stupid, but they should have been able to get Tilda Swinton to play Cassandra Nova in Deadpool. That she would have been, to me, better. You got a like a young bitch, and it's like with these two older dudes. I'm not gonna see Civil War in the theaters. I haven't seen any movie in the theater. I don't even think this. Oh yeah, Doom. Doom was good. Doom was good. Technically, this is the last season of Star Trek Discovery. So this has actually been turning out to be pretty solid. I might check it out. I mean, technically, like, the gaming channel is coming. I just gotta focus on Dune did. I mean, I'm glad it was good cinema. I mean, I can see why people got a bit overrated, but honestly, Dune has such a rich culture. I think Dune did a lot for a lot of YouTube channels. Um, let's see how much money has Dune made. People, Dune, yeah, Dune is like four. It's like 3.5 million away from 700. I know they want to get that fucking 700 so bad. I know they want to get that 700 so bad. I hope they get it. The Fall Guy. I want to support Ryan Gosling. I really do. I mean, the Fall Guy, because both of them are trash actors when it comes to box office. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, they are box office poison. Even though I actually like them both. Um, but nah, that ain't my type of movie. More I think about it, the more I dislike Zendaya's performance. I mean, Zendaya's performance was she did what she was told to do. That character was built like they wanted, and so it'll be interesting on how they do it. So anyway, with that being said, again, I appreciate y'all supporting. Like I said, look for me to do a lot more streams. I'm gonna be doing more panels as well, and I'm gonna be doing more like premium videos as well. So I'm probably gonna kick in a lot of stuff that I said I was gonna kick in. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. With that being said, this is Edward signing off. No, I actually got a couple more things to do, but I do need to get the fuck over here. Yeah, I think that was what it was, Jake02. Plus you want to use your actresses the way you want to use them. And that's one thing I kind of like about Dune, because nobody can say, "Oh, well, the women." It it makes sense. I mean, it does make. I mean, they did enough explaining as to why Chani was the way that she was, but they could have did better with that. But yeah, could you expound on Soft Guy era being purple pill, and what is the red pill with Previn? Well, I mean, Soft Guy era is. I mean, Mark is purple pill. I mean, if you actually, I may relink the Soft Guy era podcast, but when he explains and he's turning the character off and actually explaining the stuff he's talking about, like, it's a purple pill mindset behind it. But see, y'all have been taught that purple pill is bad. Purple pill is not necessarily bad. It's just that's where a lot of the pandering is. So I'll definitely probably do an upload, expanded upon it, and giving some examples. So I'll put that in kind of the thing. And I think that's a good thing, because obviously that means they can't just say all red pill is bad, and. So anyway, so with that being said, this is Edward signing off.